Hey, what's up? It's BadMad and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new, my name is BadMad and I am here on YouTube to create a network of baddies. Basically a community to promote health, wellness, positivity, all that jazz. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to become part of the baddie squad, and also remember to like and comment on this video. Today's video has been highly requested. It is a Brush 101 user guide. Now, I have been a makeup artist for around 6-7 years, so I'm very familiar with the brush game. However, I completely understand how intimidating brushes can be. There's individual brushes, there's brush sets, there's sponges. It can just be so overwhelming. So I am with you, baddies. I'm here today to tell you all about the brushes that you 100% need. If you've struggled with what the heck brush should I pick when you're in Ulta, Sephora, or the drugstore, I am here to help. Look no further. Let's get into my collection. Okay, so first thing we need to talk about is cleaning your brushes. As makeup artists, we need to take brush sanitation seriously. Obviously, we don't want to be spreading bacteria, and makeup brushes can be such a hot spot for bacteria. Also, cleaning your brushes helps the longevity of the brushes, it helps them last longer, and it conditions them. The affordable brush cleaner I'm going to recommend is the Ulta Beauty Brush Cleaner. Go to your bathroom sink, spray your brush with this, work it through the brush until the brush runs clear. I lay a hand towel out, set the brushes there overnight and let them dry, and in the morning they're completely clean and dry and ready to use. I wash my eye brushes after each use. I feel like that just keeps them the cleanest. You know, I don't want a super pigmented purple or blue sitting on my shadow brush. My facial brushes I tend to wash every 2 weeks. Cleaning brushes is absolutely essential. It's going to help your brushes last longer and keep your face nice and clean. So I filmed myself doing my makeup before this so that you guys could actually see how in my daily routine I use these. So one thing everyone needs in their makeup kit is a beauty sponge. I personally love the Morphe red sponge. It's very firm, so if you like a soft beauty blender, this is not the one for you. It's very firm, it packs the product in. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, baddies. I prefer to use my fingertips for my foundation. I put moisturizer on and then I put foundation between my fingers and I rub it all around, almost like a moisturizer. I feel like it's more buildable that way. For whatever reason, that just works best with my skin. A lot of women use a beauty blender though to apply the product on. I personally like the warmth from my fingers to help melt the foundation into my skin. I feel it gives me the most flawless coverage. However, a lot of people use a beauty blender, so try both, see how you feel. I do use a beauty blender for concealer. Now, the makeup I'm showing you today is just a quick everyday look. So I'm using the sponge to push my under eye concealer under my eyes. I'm using Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Medium. I find a sponge to be super helpful for the under eye area just because it does help pack the product in, and I find that it doesn't get creasy when I use a beauty blender. A powder brush is an absolute must. My all-time favorite is the Sonia Kasuk powder brush. This brush is so soft. Essentially, with a powder brush, you want a fluffy brush that is firm enough to push the product into your skin. I swear by using a full coverage foundation with a light powder over top for extra coverage. Now for the under eye area, you have two different options. You can either use your beauty blender again with a finishing powder or with a setting powder, or you can use a concealer brush. I prefer to use both, honestly, because I feel it gives me the most coverage. With this, I actually go in with the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette. I use the middle banana shade, and I pick a little bit of that up and I dab it on the concealer we just placed. Next up, a contour / bronzing brush. This is my all-time favorite contour brush. This is from Real Techniques, but it has a slanted tip, and that is really the key to this brush. Especially if you are a beginner, this brush is going to make your contour so simple. I am sweeping this brush up my cheekbone. And the best part is it's super inexpensive. The brush is very soft yet firm, so it helps with the placement of the product. The next brush that I find essential is a blush brush. Now the one I'm using is actually from the collaboration that Jaclyn Hill did with Morphe. I ordered this kit of facial brushes, and honestly it's just a stiff round brush. That's pretty much all you need. I know Real Techniques has a lot, I know Eco Tools has a lot. It just needs to be a rounded brush that is stiff because I want the color to be distributed evenly, especially for a blush. Also testing out a new blush today. I'm using the Milani Coral Cove powder blush. I absolutely love that it's in the shape of a rose. Next up we have a Kabuki brush. Now this is my favorite Kabuki. Basically Kabukis can be used for a multitude of things. My favorite way to utilize this brush though is with a finishing and setting powder. We all should be using a finishing and setting powder with a finishing and setting spray to help our makeup last all day long. The one I recommend is this Eco Tools Kabuki, and the reason I love it is because it's retractable. So you can retract it, it has a little lid, and you can keep this in your purse. So if you need touch-ups throughout the day, it's super easy to travel with. So essentially you're going to pick up a little bit of setting powder. Another trick with a Kabuki is it's a great way to tone down blush and contour. So if you feel like you've picked up a little bit too much product, you can go over with a Kabuki brush, just buff it out, and it will diminish the color or contour or whatever you want to calm down. Okay, we are getting into eye brushes. Now, I am going to recommend that every baddie picks up the Eye Obsessions Morphe kit. Have made it super easy and put all of the essential brushes and then some in a super affordable kit. $29, I believe, and although spending $30 on brushes seems a little expensive, you get an array of brushes that are going to be perfect for everyday use, and you won't have to worry about picking any extras up. So I'm going to be showing the brushes in that kit on how to achieve this eye look. To start off, we are using this Morphe spoolie brush that comes in the Eye Obsessions kit. It has a spoolie on one end and a really fine angled brush on the other. I'm going to use the angled end to pick up some shadow and apply that to my brows, and I'm going to buff it out with the spoolie end. This is a super helpful brush if you like to do a powder brow or a gel brow and you don't prefer to use the pen or the pencil that came with the product. Next up, this is the only brush that doesn't come in this eye kit, and that is the Morphe Stamper brush. You guys know I demonstrated this tip in my fox eye video, but this is one of my favorite tips and tricks. Basically, you're going to dip this brush into the setting powder of your choice, and you're going to take some of that powder and apply it to the edges of each of your eyes. This is going to ensure that you have no fall off and helps create a sharp edge line where you want your shadow to end. Next, we are going in with our blending brushes. So Morphe includes 3 in this package, and they are all super helpful. A blending brush is going to help ensure that your shadows are blended properly and that the color is distributed evenly. Also in this kit, there is a paddle brush. Now, paddle brushes are essential for shimmer shadows. If you apply a spritz of setting spray to a paddle brush and dip it in a pigmented shadow, it enhances the pigment and glitter of that shadow. Next up, one of my favorite eyeshadow tricks. I am using a squared off liner brush, and this is perfect for smudging into your waterline. This is one of my favorite ways to wear eyeliner in the summertime because it's so subtle. If you're not a dark liner girl, this trick is for you, and you have to have this brush to do it. Dip it into a dark shadow or a shadow of any color for that matter, and you're just going to lightly sweep across your lash line, and it creates a perfect subtle eyeliner line. You can also use it on your lower lash line to get tightly into either your waterline or to get just below it. Next, going to use this detailed crease brush to get right up into my inner corner and also underneath my eye, as well as going below your eyebrow line. And finishing up, this is not an essential brush. I have used my middle finger for highlighter for years, so you don't necessarily need a highlighter brush. Alright baddies, that is it for my brush guide 101. I hope that it was helpful. I know that brushes can be so intimidating and confusing, so I hope that I made it super easy to understand. All of my recommendations will be linked below in the description box. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you baddies next time.